Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. This is Veteran Noob's Adventures in CSR2. My newest and lowest ranking account has to tackle this season's supply cup. I managed to pull the 718 Boxster Spyder with 6 pulls. A crewmate in another crew turned me on to the idea of keeping track of how many pulls it took me to get every PC car by simply writing it down on the plate. Now, the problem for newer players, because older players generally have multiple Porsches, and there are many Porsches that are quite good at supply cup. But let's say you're stuck with a 718 Boxster Spyder as your only option for supply cup. Most of us should have the T2 one-star Boxster. That does drop pretty often, but assuming you don't, and this is your first Porsche, you're going to want to use this for supply cup, but you're not going to want to have a serious struggle at this. The thing about the cars, once you get to 4-stage transmission, even if you are missing fusions for the most part, it is now tunable. So you want at least stage 3 tires, stage 2 nitrous, stage 4 trans, so you can tune the car. The thing about the Boxster Spyder is that it can be tuned to kind of a negative Evo situation where it can really beat dyno by a pretty substantial amount. How does that work? Well, if you tune the car to the best possible Evo, that is your baseline performance point, right? That's just to get the car to run the best you can. But this car has kind of a funky shift pattern in the sense that sometimes it's harder than it looks to get this car shifting right. I should take that back. This car's shift pattern actually looks like it's pretty straightforward. But the point is that at maximum Evo, the car may or may not run as good as you have hoped in supply cup. Initially, it probably is okay. Certainly, the first few races shouldn't be much of an issue. But once you get towards the end, you'll see that the opponent cars get closer and closer. The tip of the day is always, you can always run a car bone stock through supply cups. There will always be close races, but you will win. Okay, so assuming you can basically, whoops, see this is what I'm talking about. Let's say you're not familiar with the car, I just shifted badly, I launched badly, and look at that gap the other guy got on me. So first race, I'm already losing. This is not a good start. Okay, so what am I going to do? I want to make sure I can beat that guy. But the way this thing works is, the way the supply cup works is that it's actually based on dyno. So your supply cup opponents are based on your dyno. So the faster your car dynos, generally the faster the supply cup opponents. However, if you have a car that is ultra fast in the quarter mile, eventually the opponents cap out at about 6.9s. They won't go faster than that. So if you have like a 5-second quarter mile car, like a T5 supply cup car, you'll destroy the supply cup anyway. But we don't. And here is where we're going to find a way to make the supply cup give us the slowest opponent possible. I've done these easy supply cup videos for other cars, but specifically, this is a strategy I use as a new player all the time. The reason being that if I can get a 13.4 dyno, but with a little bit of tweaking with these big Evo drop points, I can actually run much under. So even though it's a 13-second dyno, I can technically run much faster. Now, usually with situation like this, the key is don't get a 0 RPM launch. So you would launch off of perfect instead of on perfect, and then most likely, depending on the car, you're going to watch your wheel spin, but you're going to use nitrous relatively early to kind of push the car a little bit. But even without nitrous, you should run substantially under dyno. So I'm going to launch somewhere around here at about 6.5K, or 7 in this case. And then this will allow me to basically run way ahead of the opponent. Because no matter what, I'm going to run under my dyno by a substantial amount, and the opponent's timed to my dyno. So the opponent's a 13-second car, and I'm running 12.4 on a 13.5 dyno. And I don't even have to drive that well. This is the primary trick to make supply cups more easily completed for anyone. But particularly if you're stuck using a car you don't particularly have built or like, this is a strategy to make sure you basically cruise through supply cup. Does it make it easier in live and other places? No. I mean, yes and no. This car is also going to be a dyno buster in live with this same tune, but you don't get RP, and quite frankly, you're going to kill your car. So it's not worth it to use it anywhere else. I only use this strategy mainly for supply cup purposes, simply because I don't want to think too hard and try to waste too many gas pips or time to get through supply cup. It's 25 races, and I want that 25 races completed in a row without any losses, and this is the easiest way for me to accomplish it. As you can see, the opponent's timing is pretty much way behind mine, and once I get some grip and hit nitrous in second, off I go. The other piece is that with this kind of 2.0 final drive, I only have to shift once. So I don't have to really pay as much attention to this. I can literally play another account at the same time and still get my supply cups done. So that is the strategy, again, I always use for supply cup, and this is the one for this car. Now, not every car that you get each season as a PC car will be able to do this. So understand that while the negative tune method works for a lot of cars in the game, it doesn't work for every car in the game. And sometimes you are better off literally just running the car with a shift pattern that will beat dyno, or just literally run the car stock. I have crewmates that literally run their car stock for every supply cup, so they don't even build their PC cars until after the week is done and they really need to. And at that point, if your car is good enough to beat the PC cup, that final supply cup probably isn't going to be much of an issue for you anyway. So this is 11.7 on a 13 dyno, so I am not going to have any struggles. And I'm just going to go ahead and cruise through this supply cup. And that is another little tidbit and trick I use in my newer accounts based on experience of playing to make life easier for myself. This is why my new account doesn't cause me a lot of headaches. I can still generally get my way through without much stress. Okay, so that's 6 out of 25, but even if I get to race 20-25, I can tell you that I'm not likely to hit anything lower than like maybe a 13-0 opponent. So definitely going to be nice and easy, and that's another portion of my way of managing as a newer player account, how to deal with these particular cups. So again, this is an easy supply cup, and this is another episode in the Veterans Noob's Adventure in CSR2, because generally speaking, as you get more advanced, you will less and less likely need to use these kind of tricks to get through things like supply cup, because you just have better cars that are built and that can just outrun the supply cup opponents straight up. So let me know if this is of any value to you or of any help. And again, if this is the only Porsche you have, now you're okay, at least for supply cups. But little final tidbit, this does not work for PC Cup. PC Cup does not rely on your dyno. Those are set times that you must beat. Therefore, for PC Cup, please don't use this strategy. You will fail miserably. This only works for supply cup because it's dyno-based cup, until Natural Motion changes it anyway. It's a dyno-based cup, but a PC Cup is a straight-up time target-based cup, meaning either you run that time with this car or you're just not going to beat that race. All right? All right. Thank you for joining me today for this little piece of the Veteran Noob's Adventure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you like my channel, please subscribe so you can get notifications when I put up new videos. As always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.